Happy Friday, RDP community. So this week's Philosophy Friday, I want to share with you one of the biggest lessons that I ever learned about health and fitness, and it helps you overcome one of the biggest mistakes that people I see making all the time, whether they're trying to build muscle or lose weight or whatever. And I got reminded of this the other day when I went and I did something that I haven't done since I was a teenager, and I swore I'd never do again. What that thing was I went to an archery range and I practiced some archery. The reason why I swore I'd never do it is because back in the day, it drove me to absolute crazy frustrations, and I eventually gave up because I was always trying to figure out the optimal setup for my archery rig. Because if you've never shot with like high-tech compound bows and stuff, there's a million settings on these damn things. And it just drove me crazy because I could never figure out what I needed to do. Well, the other day when I went out there, I was getting the same thing. Like, do I need to move my sight? Which stabilizer should I use? And all this stuff. One of the instructors finally came up to me and said, "You have no basis for making any sort of informed decision with what you're doing." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're trying to figure this whole thing out. What should you do and what should you change?" He's like, "You're not in a situation to make any sort of choice that's going to have any meaningful impact." I was like, "Why not?" He's like, "Because you have no consistency in your technique, therefore you have no consistency in your outcome," meaning the arrows are just all over the place. And when you have inconsistency in your habits and inconsistency in your outcome, all you're doing is blindly guessing about what you need to do. So even if you make a right choice, you have no idea. So he spent the next several minutes saying, like, instead of having your hand all over the place, put it exactly the same place. Put your feet in exactly the same place. Have your arm, everything is exactly the same. And after about 20 minutes or so, finally the arrows started to trend in a direction. It's like, good, now that you have somewhat consistent results, now you can make informed decisions about what you need to do with your sights and all that sort of thing. And that's the thing that I often see people making, is they come to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this workout was bad. Like, do I need to overhaul my whole program? Or I'm up 3 pounds this week. Do I need to totally change my diet and everything?" And the answer is no, because when your habits and your approaches are inconsistent, your results are going to be all over the place, and you feel like you're just constantly reacting to these daily fluctuations that may or may not mean anything, and you're not making informed choices, you're just guessing. So that's why I always tell people, get stable with what you're doing. I don't care if you're eating donuts. Have a donut every single day. Get it consistent, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. I don't care if it's right, because as the guy in the archery range was saying, I don't care if you hit the bullseye. Just get consistent in your habits so you can have consistent outcomes. Then you'll know what's better to do, and you'll have far greater decision-making power and informed choices about what you actually should be doing. Because if you don't have that, you're just guessing, and you're never going to figure this stuff out. Stabilize and progress, the 2 simple steps for the ultimate fitness program. Hopefully that gives you something to think about this weekend. Have a great weekend. Thoughts, comments, questions down below. Thanks so much for listening. Be fit, live free.